Hey guys, Alexeja here, and today we're going to be doing Yoko's wig and her hair accessories. So first we're going to be making the hair accessories, and then we're going to work on the wig, and I'll explain how I got it into a ponytail. I had to do it twice because the first time it messed up, it just got all tangled. It was a giant rat's nest and I had to fix it. So I'll explain how I got it in a ponytail later. Right now, hair accessories. So I have some wooden chopsticks, and we are going to paint them and make them the right color so we can put them in Yoko's hair. So some wooden chopsticks is what you'll need. I got a little piece of extra EVA foam and I just stabbed 2 holes in it, so whenever I'm painting them, I just kind of stick them in there and just so they can stand up so I can paint them easier. I drew a pattern for the hair clip. I might just make it just slightly bigger when I cut it on the craft foam, but I drew out a pattern. We're going to put it on the craft foam. We're going to cut multiple pieces out of the craft foam and kind of stack them so we can get the eyes and the head. I'll show you. I don't really know how to explain it, but hair accessories. You're going to use craft foam, and we're going to cover it with some Worbla. That way it's a little bit more stiff and it stays in the hair a little bit better. So, wooden chopsticks, pattern, craft foam, Worbla, and paint. I have a paint plate to put my paint on. I have real yellow and bright yellow. I don't know exactly which one we'll use, so I just got those 2. And I got an old makeup brush, so it will just be really easy to go across the wood. So, let's get into the hair accessories. So, I guess we're going to work on the chopsticks first because it's going to take a little bit longer to put a couple coats onto wood. So we're going to get paint plate, our EVA foam, stick the chopsticks in there. It works. And let's see. Shake these up a little bit. Put a little dab of this. Let's see. I think we might use the real yellow. We're gonna use real yellow. Get some paint and get your makeup brush, and then you're just gonna dab your makeup brush and just kind of go across them until they're covered the way you want them to. And just do thin layers, let it dry, and then do another layer. You don't want to do thick layers because then it'll have all those running paint things. It'll look like wet paint. I don't know how, I'm sorry. It'll look like wet paint, so just do thin layers and let that dry, and then put on your next layer so it dries completely together. I forgot to tell you to get a little cup of water for your brush so it can clean it off, because you don't want all that paint to dry in between this drying, because I don't know how long each layer is going to take to dry. So I'm going to let this dry completely, and then I'm going to put the next layer on. But you want to make sure your brush doesn't get all dry and with crusty paint on it, because then it's going to not go on smoothly and it's just not going to be nice. So just make sure your brush is nice and clean. Let this dry, and then we'll come back to the next layer. It took 6 layers, I believe. 6 layers of paint. And remember, we did thin layers, so it was 6 thin layers. We let the thin layer dry, and then we went on to our next layer. So 6 layers, and then after this finishes drying, I'm going to pull it out and paint the tips, which will take probably 6 layers like the rest of it did. So I'll come back whenever this is completely painted, and then we can put our clear coat on it. So, okay, so the chopsticks are covered in all the paint. I did 6 layers on the whole thing, and all the wood is covered. So now we're going to put a clear coat on it, we are going to use Mod Podge because Mod Podge is just a lot easier to work with. So probably do 2 thin layers of Mod Podge. It's stuck. 2 thin layers of Mod Podge, and then let it dry. And then the chopsticks are complete, and then we will work on the little headpiece. Hey guys, sorry it's a new day. Got too late the other day when I was painting the chopsticks, but here is the completed chopsticks. They look so nice. They're not brown wood anymore, they're yellow. So we'll put them in the wig whenever we get the rest of the wig done. So next we're gonna make the hair clip. Excuse me. So we have our pattern. I'm going to cut it out a little bit closer to this, and then we're going to trace it on a piece of craft foam and cut it out of the craft foam. So now that you have the 2 pieces cut out, you have the one with the eyes cut out and you have the just normal one, you're going to put your hot glue on the back of this and then glue it onto the second piece so that the 2 pieces become 1 piece. Okay, so now that we have this piece cut and it's glued together, we are going to take some, not this whole sheet, but we're going to take a little bit of Worbla and then heat it and cover this so that it will look covered and it looks more like a plastic hair clip or whatever her hair clip's made out of, you know. So we'll make that and then we'll have to clean it. Okay, so everything is together. So now we have our Mod Podge, our paint plate, and the makeup brush we used for the chopsticks. It's all clean, so we're going to put our hair clip on our paint plate, get just a little bit of Mod Podge, do a thin layer on the front, let it dry, do a thin layer on the back, let it dry, and just, we'll probably do 2 thin layers and see how it is. Okay, so now that everything is primed, I did 3 layers of Mod Podge to make it nice and smooth. So now that we have all the Mod Podge and everything is dry, we got white paint and some black paint, and we are going to cover everything in white paint first to just make sure that everything is kind of primed with white, and then cover the outside piece of the skull with white until we are happy with how it looks, and then the inside of the eye black and the little scar black. Okay, so let's paint it. all the white is painted, it looks all pretty and white. Excuse me. So I got a smaller detailed brush. We're just going to get a little bit of black and just carefully paint his eyes and the scar on the forehead. Okay? Okay guys, so all the black is nice and dry. So just to give it a little bit more detail, I'm going to mix some of the black and the white to make a kind of gray color, and just kind of, you know, give the edges a little bit more of highlights and lowlights so that it looks a little bit more three-dimensional and less 2D. I want it to look a bit more 3D, so we're going to add some weathering and some highlights and stuff, and see how it looks after that. And then we're going to attach the clip onto the back after I get the rest of the paint done. Well, we're going to get the rest of the paint done, and then we have to put a clear coat over it of Mod Podge. We're probably just going to do one thin clear coat, and then we'll put the clip on the back, okay? So I think that's all I'm going to do to it. I just put some gray and kind of blended it in around the edges and around the cracks and stuff. I believe that's all I really want to do to it. I don't want to do too much. So now that we have everything painted, we are going to take our large makeup brush, put it in some Mod Podge, and just put a thin layer over the top and let it dry. Put a thin layer over the back and let it dry, and then we will attach our hair clip. Okay guys, so next I started on the wig. I separated the bangs into 3 sections. The middle section I teased and used hairspray and heat, and the top and bottom section I used as the flattening. If you want to know a more detailed way on how I did the bangs, please check out my Jinx hairstyling video, and I explain how I do bangs a lot easier in that video. I essentially did the Yoko bangs the same way I did the Jinx ones. So watch that video as a better way to practice that. Started to become shape, I made sure everything was nice and hairsprayed down with some hairspray and heat, and then I used my Garnier mess maker and made some fringed ends and styled it so it looked more anime style, look more like anime hair, you know, with all the little fringes on it and all the little hair standing up. You gotta do all that and on the bangs and then on the side of the hair, and I did one little tiny piece that stands up on the top of the head. I just ended up putting the little fringe ends in all of the bangs, and I put it in the long pieces that hang in the front of the hair too, just to give the hair a little bit more shape and a little bit more of an anime style. And then I took some bangs, or some of the hair for the front of the piece, and I put them around the face so it would shape around the face. After I styled the wig, it is now time to finally add the hair accessories. So I put the hair clip in. To add the hair clip, I had to put it in the wig cap and kind of just thread it through the lace pieces in the top of the cap. And then I put the chopsticks in the back of the head, and try not to put the chopsticks through the wig so that way it stays and doesn't interfere whenever you put on your wig. Okay guys, so something I forgot to talk about whenever I was styling Yoko's wig was how I got it into a ponytail. I will be putting a link in the description of a video that I used to help me put it into a ponytail, but I just wanted to talk about it a little bit in this video to help anyone. So what you're going to do is you're going to take sewing pins, put one in the middle of the head, and line the front of the wig above the ears and behind the neck to make sure it's secure against the styrofoam head. And then you're going to turn the wig upside down and gather all the hair with your fingers. Don't use a hairbrush because it'll get tangled. Just gather all the hair with your fingers and put the ponytail in it and carefully pull it through the ponytail. You may need help. I had to use my sister help me. She held the head while I did the hair. It's easier with two people because it's a little hard with one person. Just gather all that hair and carefully put it into a ponytail. Be very careful because it will get tangled. That's how I messed up the very first time I tried it. It just turned into this like giant rat's nest, and I'm not over exaggerating, I mean giant rat's nest. And it was really hard to get untangled, but as you see, I was able to save it. Thank goodness, but be very careful with long wigs. They get tangled so easily. But that's pretty much it. But don't forget the video that I used to help me will be in the video in the description below. So check that out and give them a like. And so I hope you guys enjoyed how I made the hair accessories and how I styled Yoko's wig. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. And for any more cosplay related content, please subscribe to my channel and give this video a like. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!